what's up, everybody? It is me, Chase, here with Dolphins versus the World. And first of all, thank you to Joel for joining me today. And we are missing Anthony today. He is still traveling, so I'm going to do a bit of a quicker recap here for everyone. Just share some quick thoughts. Wanted to get off my chest. Me and Anthony let me know his thoughts too. So we'll sum it up here. But I'll get right into it here. Dolphins beat down of the Jets. Black Friday. Quite an interesting game. Not the most entertaining game whatsoever. I think we could all agree with that. I don't know how many people would have watched that game if it weren't a standalone Black Friday game and you weren't a Dolphins or Jets fan. But yeah, Dolphins 34, Jets 13. From the start, the Dolphins just felt like they were in complete control of this game. The only moment where it felt like for a brief little that the Jets could maybe get lucky and find a footing in the game was the pick six right before half for them. And then a couple plays later, the Jets Hail Mary, Dolphins return the favor, pick six. So, and then after that, it was just like, this game's over. They don't stand a chance. These guys can't do anything. Their offense is just, for lack of a better word, pathetic. And just quick shout out, speaking of pathetic, shout out to Florida State for beating down on the Gators. Those guys are pathetic. But anyways, back to the Dolphins here. Just wanted to rub it in a little bit there. It was just an interesting game. Takeaways from the Dolphins really is even though they're not playing great football, specifically I would say Tua isn't playing the best football we've seen. They're still winning games. So that's good to see. Sometimes, you're not going to have your best game every week and you're going to just have to find ways to win. And that's what the Dolphins are doing. The running game was just massive for us this week. I felt like it was good to see it get back here. I think that was probably just with sort of the O-line getting a bit healthier. And I know everyone's been saying it on Twitter, but I'm going to agree. Liam Eichenberg is impressing quite a bit, at least from the low bar he has set himself. He's playing outstanding. So a lot of credit to him. Other thoughts offensively is just, Jalen Waddle was a monster out there. It was good to see him get the ball and get involved. I think we've all been waiting for that. And again, Sauce Gardner too. So that was pretty awesome to see. The defense was great. I thought, when you're playing the Jets, that's what you got to do. It's simple as that. That should be the baseline. And it's not because you have an elite defense or anything, but it's just because it's the Jets. Everyone should be doing that to the Jets in their current state right now. But that's what you go out and you want to do as a defense, just dominating. This Dolphins defense continues to improve. So that's kind of just my thoughts overall on both sides of the ball. Like, things are trending up. I think for both teams, both sides of the ball are getting better, and we'll just continue to see where this goes. You still have, for lack of a better word, easy games the next few weeks, and they're not easy by any stretch, but they're just games that you're going to be favored by. You're going to be big favorites in. You should win. You should handle business in these games, and I think everyone expects us to go handle business. That's a bar we're setting for ourselves here. So continue to just improve. And then when the big games come here down the stretch of the season, and then in towards the playoffs, you're ready. That's what you want to see out of this team. You don't have to go out there and play your best game every week. I don't think anyone's asking that, because we want the best games to be when they matter most. So whatever you got to do to improve, to just get better, to build chemistry, like we've seen with this defense, it's just a season-long arc, and hopefully it keeps trending up. And then by the time we're at the Super Bowl, we're peaking and playing our best football on both sides. So, I think it was just an awesome game, but there was some negatives from it. And I think the ones that everyone's going to go to are the injuries, specifically to Jaelan Phillips. Just brutal to see. The MetLife turf is there's clearly something there to it. It's astounding at this point. They're still playing on it. Like, how many people have to suffer this injury for them to realize that there's a problem? I hope it's not another person, because it's ridiculous at this point. But yeah, I mean, he was playing fantastic football every week. It felt like he was getting better since the back injury. He's came back. He's been developing, getting into his own each week, and it's just so sad to see that, because this Dolphins D line was playing really well together. My thoughts are, even with how well he's playing, I think with Andrew Van Ginkel, we should be okay. I think that's where he's going to move to. I don't know exactly. I'd be pretty shocked if anything different happened. But I think you give him the first chance just because of what he did over the first few weeks of the season. But you work Emmanuel Ogbah into. He's has a resume from last year that he could go out and dominate here. So yeah, I think they'll be okay, even though he is probably one of the best few players on our team. I think the Dolphins will be okay. And then another injury was to Teron Armstead. It looks like he's going to be okay. After the game, I was like, well, he's probably going to go back on IR. But then through Twitter today, saw that he's looking like he's even going to play this week. So that's good to see. What else here? Yeah, just a couple quick other things here. Let me do this actually while I'm on the topic of the injuries. I'm going to read what Anthony wanted to share about injuries. He just said it's going to be a big blow. We could hopefully we get someone to replace their production. And yeah, the same thoughts as me. Turf shouldn't be allowed in the NFL. It's just awful. And then he's also want to say too, it's got to limit the turnovers. 2 interceptions in right before half. It's unacceptable. I would agree there. You're playing a team that can do anything offensively, you probably are in trouble. But he said his arm seems to be getting tired. He can't make the big throws late outside the numbers. I haven't noticed that. I will keep an eye out for that, though. That's an interesting thing. Something to watch out for. I mean, maybe everyone remembers back to a couple of years ago where he got the reputation for noodle arm that I just think is crazy. It was later in the year when those throws started to appear. Next thing, yeah, the offense is balanced. Run distributing the ball to Tyreek and Waddle, and they're borderline unstoppable. I'd agree with that. And yeah, the Jets defense is still very good. And the Dolphins put up 27 points on it. They still do have a very good defense. There's a lot of problems there in New York, but I don't think they've quit just yet. We'll see next week. But yeah, and then lastly, the defense has arrived. It's just great without Phillips, but we got to keep going forward. Keep seeing what we can do. Just a couple quick other thoughts around the league here, and then I'll wrap up. So if you haven't gotten a chance to watch it, I thought Hard Knocks was a very interesting watch. If nothing else, it was the first episode. It's not the most entertaining stuff. We all watch the game on Sunday. We know the outcome already. It's not like there's a lot of suspense, but I just thought it was pretty intriguing to watch, like the dynamics of the team, how people talk to each other. Mike McDaniel was quite the character. I was honestly shocked at just how open, like what you see when he's in the media is literally the exact same as what you see behind the scenes. And that's great with some players. I mean, you could see how much Tua likes it, how much Jalen Waddle likes it. I could go on, name some more players. But yeah, I think he's just trying to connect with each and every player in the way they can. You can see how he talks to Jalen Ramsey is different from how he talks to Tua. He's really just a personal guy, which is awesome to see. But then as the episode continues, it started to kind of be more about Tyreek Hill. And I just thought it was really weird, the way the whole hand thing happened. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch, I'd recommend it. It was a little concerning to me. And I don't know, it could be just the magic of editing. They made it to seem more dramatic because they didn't have too much, but it seemed like it was a pretty big deal. And Dolphins kind of just didn't do too much about it, but he looked fine. He looked fine this week. So whatever it was, I guess there's not too much to worry about. But yeah, I thought Hard Knocks, I'd recommend it. I will be watching there's episode today. I don't know. I don't know if I'll watch it right away, but I definitely am going to watch it here before this next podcast. I think it's just a great, unique watch to kind of learn more about the team, if nothing else. And then, yeah, I mean, the AFC is shaping up for the Dolphins to do something special here. The Bills lose again. The Dolphins are now 3 games ahead of the Bills in the AFC East, which is amazing. The last time we won the AFC East was when Tom Brady suffered an injury, and that was the only way we got in at 11-5. But yeah, it's crazy to think that we're pretty much a couple wins away here from having a home playoff game, which is just amazing. I mean, we've talked about how good we've been at home here on this podcast, so I think a home playoff game could be just massive. A lot still to be shaken out, that's for sure. But the way things are right now, it looks really good for the Dolphins, I would say. Interesting game between the Jaguars and the Texans. The Texans winning would have been better for the Dolphins, but I mean, man, they look like they could be a dangerous wild card team. I don't know if we want them to keep winning. But yeah, so I think the Jags pretty much have the AFC South locked up here, I would say. So they're one of the teams that can push you for the 2 seed. I think the Chiefs are going to get the 2 seed. They were down 14-0 early. Then they just turned it on, and the Raiders didn't do anything the rest of the game. Their schedule is just so easy down the stretch here. The Chiefs, I think it's hard for them not to be the 1 seed. But then the Dolphins have a game against the Raiders in a key spot at Baltimore. But that game, again, could come down to the 2-3 seed. The bottom line is, no matter what, the Dolphins just have to keep handling business here. I think it's like one more Bills loss and 3 wins, and then the Dolphins clinch, and the 3 games coming up are against the Washington Commanders, the Tennessee Titans, and the Jets again at home, which I think even just saying them out loud, if your initial thoughts are the Dolphins are going to win those games, you're probably a little crazy. They're going to be double-digit favorites probably in all those games. So just handle your business. It's as simple as that. The more time goes on and the more games you win, the closer the dream is to a reality of having a home playoff game here in front of your fans, them supporting you. You don't want to go up at this point to Buffalo. Let me tell you, if the Dolphins somehow don't win the division and then you get in as a wild card team and you have to go to Buffalo, that'd be just gut wrenching and psychologically a lot. So keep winning. Simple as that. But yeah, and then a last sort of interesting thing about the rest of the AFC is quietly the Denver Broncos. Not quietly. I think everyone's realizing it now. But, I mean, they've turned their season around. They look like they could be a wild card team. And I'd love to see that matchup in the playoff, because this is not the same team that the Dolphins beat 70-20. They're playing a lot better football. And, yeah, I mean, that could be one of the teams you face. Like, the storyline's just right itself. I think at this point, if you haven't caught my drift already, I'm starting to consider who's going to be the wild card teams. So I don't think it's if we'll win the division. I think it's more a when. And that's not to say the Bills can't go out here and turn it around on their bye week, but they come out and they play the Chiefs next week. I think that's going to be a really tough game for them. And then at that point, like I said, you handle your business these next 3 games. You take the division home. You don't even have to worry about the last week. So yeah, bottom line is keep going out and winning games. Simple as that. Doesn't need to be much more complicated than that, guys. Just continue to improve and get better and win games. Lastly, with Jaelan Phillips going down, the Dolphins have signed Jason Pierre-Paul. Interesting signing. We'll see what to make of it here, but I mean, just a veteran guy who's won Super Bowls. Absolutely fantastic player. Probably goes in the Hall of Fame one day, I would think. Just a great guy to be on the team. We'll look to see if he's going to get any minutes. I don't expect any anytime soon, but just a good depth piece to sign at this point in the year when you have limited options. And this team is is having a great year, man. There's no other way to put it. Just keep moving forward, and the sky's the limit, honestly, still at this point, even with some injuries going down. But, we're getting close to January, and you still have hope. You still could believe. So I think this is just a great time to be a Dolphins fan. But yeah, from us here at Dolphins versus the World, please like, share, comment, subscribe, everything, guys. It really does help the channel, really does help get us out there to more people. The YouTube will like it. They'll share it with some more people. See you like it. They'll share it, get us some more views, and we'll go from there. And like the Dolphins, the sky's the limit. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. From Chase, Joel, and Anthony, who couldn't join us today. Fins up.